I apologize to our Saints fans who are out there. I know that there are many of you that watch the Buford Sports Network, but I literally do not care about your team.
Oh.
I don't know about your team.
Oh, you had to go there.
Yeah, it's just the most anonymous team in football right now.
We're back in studio after being on location last 3 weeks, Mike. How many times did you have to go get a pump in before we got on air?
I could barely even fit in this shirt. I've been telling you what, though, these Prips drinks, they've been pumping me up. I'm wearing like a size.
Does it come with whey?
Yeah, this is like a youth large. Yeah, we're busting out of fabrics. It's 2024 and the playoff picture is wearing at least a youth extra large, Dirk, I would say. A couple games with implications this week and a couple games that are just really dumb that we have to talk about.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Talking about, and we'll get to it, just the number of non-traditional or non-QB1 starting quarterbacks that are playing this week. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, and it's going to affect a number of different games. But, it kind of speaks to moving to a week, to 17 weeks. Now kind of lends itself to, hey, the playoff picture is kind of set by 16, 17 almost. And this is kind of an odd year where there's 2 spots still up to grabs in the AFC, 1 in the NFC. I mean, let's start getting into it. Let's just go through
AFC South juggling act.
Yeah. So you have 5 teams right now from the AFC that have clinched the spot. That is the Ravens, number 1, taking the number 1 overall top seed. They'll have home field advantage throughout the AFC playoffs. After that, you have the Dolphins, who I don't believe they have not tied up the division quite yet. A loss this week could mean that the Bills take the division championship.
The Bills getting buff. Yeah.
And then you have Chiefs, who took the AFC West with that dramatic win last week. Too much to talk about there, and the Broncos just whatever. And then the Browns that are taking the number 5 spot. Weird that 1, 2, 3, and 5 positions or seating has been taking place. Now, you still have the AFC South that has not been decided yet. CM Punk having his way with the Jaguars and leading to kind of this is the story for the end of the season and this week in the AFC South. And we'll preview some of those.
Jacksonville go to sleep. We find out this week.
In the NFC, it's pretty well locked up. You have the 49ers taking the number 1 overall seed there, having home field advantage. Not quite 100% locked up, but I'm just calling it now. You have the Cowboys as well, Lions, Eagles, and Rams, all guaranteed clinch spots into the playoff. You still have some folks in the hunt. Let's talk about that. The Packers and the Buccaneers both vying for that final spot. You have a few other teams such as the Saints.
Somehow hanging in there.
Don't know how.
I have watched a grand total, including highlights, of 10 seconds of Saints football this year. They have been the most irrelevant team in my life. I know nothing about the Saints this year, and they're somehow almost in the playoffs.
The NFC is like the haves and have-nots. That's like the whole conference, right?
Who the hell is on the Saints? What is their team?
Derek Carr.
I do know.
Name another one. Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, Kamara is there. What's the rest of the team? Is Thomas back?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's there.
He's not been the same player ever since he came back from injury.
I apologize to our Saints fans who are out there. I know that there are many of you that watch the Buford Sports Network, but I literally do not care about your team.
Oh.
I don't know about your team.
Oh, you had to go there.
Yeah, it's just the most anonymous team in football right now.
Well,
anonymous isn't bad. I just don't know anything about them.
Anona who?
Anona who? Who day?
No, but all right, let's just talk really quick about the NFC. The reason it's at this point is because there's so many trash teams. How are the Vikings ever in playoff contention after the start they had? How are the Packers back in playoff contention? I mean, even the Bears, up until last week, were still not eliminated until the final game, where it's 7-9. It seems like every year the NFC has some type of team that has lost more games than they won, and they're still in playoff contention. I mean, do you remember when, the Seahawks had home field advantage after going like 7-8?
Yeah, it was 7-9. That year. Yes, that was the year they won the NFC West at 7-9, and the Beastquake ensued, and
the Beastquake,
yeah. Let me ask you this, Dirk. Tom Brady a few weeks ago, whenever it was, weighed in and said that the product in the NFL is watered down right now. Is this postseason picture, with really no standout team outside of maybe Baltimore and maybe the 49ers, is that an indication that Brady is maybe onto something?
Brady was onto something. It's not just the quality of players, but it's more about the rules. You can go over the middle without any risk. Right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like how the NBA, this is kind of maybe a take that I'll get hate for in the comments, but ever since the NBA and basketball became such a lighthearted sport in terms of you can't go hard in the paint anymore because everything's a damn foul. It's the same thing with the NFL. Like, you protect the offensive players so much that there's no risk really associated with being a wide receiver. Think about Ed McCaffrey. Imagine what type of player Ed McCaffrey would be today compared to what he was even then. I mean, he had to make some pretty heroic catches over the middle and, kind of have his leg dangling around live on the television there for a while in order to, make a niche for himself. I mean, he was the Wes Welker before that was cool.
Yeah. Oh, if we go back to the 1970s when the Pittsburgh Steelers were the Pripsburgh Steelers, let me tell you what, Terry Bradshaw would be feasting on this league right now. And, Franco Harris, the Steel Curtain.
Oof. It's like instead of the terrible towels, was it the terrible tubs of Prips?
Tubs of Prips. They also actually had post-game baths in Prips back then. I don't know where this is going, but getting back to the...
You know what? We'll wrap up this segment with just a final, kind of like an end last week of the NFL kind of dissertation, we'll say, for lack of a better term.
Dissertation.
The NFL product has gone downhill. I'm blaming the rule changes that have happened and also, quite frankly, just some absurd reffing. Now, we did a segment earlier in the year about just how bad and absurd, the catch rule is and how that needs to change. But realistically, the same damn crew has failed to create, to just call the game of rules that have been around for a very long time, and it costs the Lions the number 1 seed.
Has it gone downhill or has it gone down Tyreek Hill?